Obasanjo. How 11 states and in Lagos. And those are some of the headlines from the Punch newspaper. And the Daily Trust is next. FG issues flood alert as Cameroon opens Ladolamb. An FG to split Unity colleges into basic secondary schools. Portation, federal government. The Tribune newspaper is next, and it leads with this story. 2.2 million registered voters collect PVCs in Edo. This is according to INEC. And Governor Makinde flags off upgrade of Ibadan Airport today. Tinubu signed peace accord in 2023 presidency, replies Coker. And the PDP Board of Trustees. The Nation newspaper is next, and the paper leads with this. Tinubu signed peace accord, others over Kwara Council polls. Civil servants, okay. End banditry killings now, Danjuma tells service chiefs. And Cameroon begins release of water from Ladolamb. And the paper leads with Federal Ministry officials urges stronger hygiene education in schools to curb open defecation. And also Fagbemi advocates best practices in polytechnics governance. Presidency is saying CBN governor has not been asked to resign. Akpabio comments Tinubu's swift response to flood disaster. NAF, that's the Nigerian Air Force, to deploy quick response wing in Northwest. Tinubu Rishi is saying lifting of petrol. And on the foreign scene, second assassination attempt on Trump in 2 months. Suspect is in custody. Okay, let's move on to the Sun newspaper. I have enough water to quench your fire. Bauchi governor fires back at Mike. And talking about flood, NDDC builds multi-purpose emergency shelters. Clark Hill's Dangote refinery calls for continued government support. Nigeria unveils reforms to enhance energy security and attract investment. Right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now, and the paper leads with this. NNPCL Dangote. Fresh dispute emerges over supply. Denied Nigeria 280 million. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Fuel subsidy removal. Others can pose risk to external reserve, according to the CBN. Proof fund that parents lampoon federal, Lagos state governments to attract investment erosion threats. So those are the headlines we can take on the papers today. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we will look at some of the stories in detail. Stay tuned in a while.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Abuja.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. 3.7 Citizen FM.
Oya o my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top make we talk am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Did you miss out on the news during the package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday? Join me, Esther Nwusu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Here is what to do. Women's Corner is waiting just for you. Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too. We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly. Join us, Women's Corner, on Citizen 93.7.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM. Yeah, our analysts. And but meanwhile, the phone lines are open now. You can join the conversation. Call us on 0903 220818 222205 or 0818 2222 Meanwhile, analyst in-house analysis also seated, ready for the show. Mr. Salmon Salami, good morning, sir. Good to have you. All right, Mr. Salami is the Chief Operating Officer of Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. Mr. Salami, let's start with some politics here before we move on to some other stories. We start with the Sun newspaper. PDP crisis, have enough water to quench your fire. Bauchi governors fires at Wike. Bauchi State Governor and Chairman of the People's Democratic Party Governorship, our Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, has boasted that he has enough water to extinguish any fire from the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. He made the assertion when he received a delegation of PDP put fire in the state of any PDP governor that meddles in the affairs of Rivers State. Wike, while reacting to the forum's call for a review of the PDP Congress outcome to restore Governor Simina Layi Fubara's leadership role in the state, had threatened to cause political crisis in the state of any governor that interferes with the party structure in Rivers and South-South. Mr. Salami.
Lawrence, this is Wednesday, and I don't know why you want us to start this analysis with firefighters.
You know it's raining.
It is not funny at all. Honestly, I think Governor Nyesom Wike needs to moderate his utterances. Yes, he's a politician. Yes, he has his interest to protect. That any PDP governor who dares to meddle in the affairs of another PDP state, PDP governors forum, to say that he has enough water to quench the fire is not lost on any discerning political reporter. Political fire. So, when they feel that it's better they spend on that and not on social. Honestly, I think there is the need for the parties to prioritize the people. Whatever concerns the people, to me, should be more important and of paramount interest to all our public office holders. We know that even the firefighters, they need water. Floyd.
In this era of rains and flood, you say water is scarce. I don't know which other water you're talking about.
And actors in River State should allow peace to reign.
All right. Okay.
And I still want to believe that politicians will always politic. But when they do so, they should, in the name of everything that is good, prioritize the welfare and well-being of the common man.
Oh, well, Mr. Salami, I'm glad you ended that way with things less seriously. You see, when you see political bigwigs throwing their weights around in the media, sometimes just don't take them too seriously, because I'm sure sometimes they don't take themselves seriously. And you'll be surprised at the end of the day, all the combatants will end up on the same platform to move ahead. And when you ask them, but 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you said this, they said, well, in politics, some of these things happen. So, but let's leave it at that. Very soon, the issue of River State is going to be resolved one way or another. It's not going to be like this forever. It will be resolved one way or another. The pendulum will swing one way or another. Whichever way it swings, well, we don't know for now. So, still talking about governors, we have this story from the Punch newspaper. 20 governors borrow fresh 446 billion naira as revenue tumbles. Debt servicing costs incurred by 29 state governments consume 80% of their internally generated revenue during the first 6 months of 2024, highlighting the significant financial burden the subnationals currently face. This is a story according to the Punch newspaper. The dire situation also forced the governors to borrow a total sum of 446 billion naira within the same period, despite a 40% increase in its start by the Punch, using the budget implementation report from each state's website and Open Nigerian State. Mr. Salami.
You know, what we do here on a daily basis will only have meaning if the people at the state and local government level hold their government accountable for the use or misuse of public fund. The revenue, 40% of what they were taking before, yet they 29 states, we were told, had borrowed 446 billion to do what? Can the people in the states, respective states, show us what the money borrowed was spent on? In itself and by itself, borrowing is not bad. The question is, you have us to approach it with all sense of seriousness. Honestly, we have been saying it, and we will call the chairman with his councillors. We are not saying that there should be less hit on the federal government, but and the local government, the helmsmen. Dividends of democracy can be delivered to the people. The price for
maybe we should take it a little bit easy with the governors, because we are tempted to say, oh, they have their income and the last couple of months, or maybe in the last 1 year, times 4, sometimes times 3. But sincerely speaking, Mr. Salami, what is the value of it translate to that amount? Because, for example, if you were getting 200 million naira 2 years ago, and all of a sudden you now have 500 million naira, what's the value of that 500 million naira today compared to the 200 million naira 2 years ago?
Lawrence, I will have announced to our teaming listeners that you have gotten a job at the Governors Forum.
Well, no.
Because the thing is this, Lawrence, no matter the value of the naira,
I consider that, yeah, true.
You see it on their faces and in their lifestyle.
Anyway, Mr. Salami, let's leave it at that. I was just saying that we shouldn't get carried away. I was just saying that we shouldn't get carried away by the times 4 increase, times 5 increase. That would mean times 4 expectation of performance. But it's all well and good to expect the governors to perform because that's what they were voted into office to do. And any other public officer, that is what you are expected to do. Especially elected officers, you campaigned for that office and you were voted into that office. Excuses, according to you, remain what they are. Excuses. But let's move on to another story here. This time, the Guardian newspaper. Make laws to allow traditional rulers regain dignity. This is according to the Olubadan of Ibadan. The Olubadan of Ibadan has urged the federal government to make laws to ensure traditional Omosho land His Imperial Majesty Okearemo in Ibadan. The monarch who spoke noted that Ibadan and Ogbomoso have maintained a good relationship with government to enact laws that will help them regain their pride of place.
I have tremendous respect for tradition. I'm a Yoruba man, and I respect culture and the custodians. That the respect they got before, was it via legislation? You earn respect. They don't legislate respect for anybody. In the past few years, of our royal highnesses, and I'm saying this with all sense of respect, they should know that respect is earned, it's not demanded, neither is it legislated. And I want our royal fathers, the years of yore, so that we can get the kind of respect our fathers that time or those years got. When you mentioned Tadeni Awo, the late Adesoji, fantastic and highly traditional, the Owa Obokun of Ijesha land. As we speak, in Yoruba land today, the Awujale of Ijebu land is a well-respected royal fathers. I want what is good, what is morally upright, and not money. The Afoba should install only those that have dignity, that have respect for our morals, values, and tradition, and not the bleaching young guys who came from US with money. That is where we got it wrong. Money should not be the reason for selecting someone as an Oba. It should be tradition. You should follow tradition, and you should insist on what is right. Due process, due diligence, and like this.
Let's pick up the story that Agdo Dam and the federal government has alerted the Nigeria Hydrological Service. It said there was no cause for Laraba, Kogi, Nasarawa, the impact of the war. It was massive. And I hope that with this prior information ahead, that we will all do what we can to mitigate whatever consequences will be the fallout.
You see, this calls into question the diplomatic relationship between Nigeria and Cameroon. You see, the whole world as it is today is a global village. And what happens in Ghana, to some extent, would definitely affect other West African countries, especially Nigeria. So now, I think there is the need for Nigeria, the government officials, to have had robust conversation with their Cameroon counterparts in such a way that we will know what will happen at what time, and we will have prepared. How will you tell us that Kamedi Lado Dam will now be, water will be released from Lado Dam tomorrow, day after tomorrow? Get ready. That is a firefighting approach. Months ago, in such a manner, to happen at so time. Now you have said that there are some flood-prone states. They should not worry. Effect of what happened in Borno. People are just as at yesterday, the Northwest Development Commission came with 3 billion, and the Dangote with 1 billion. So money is good, I agree. They need money, I agree. But throwing money in itself and by itself to problem will not solve problem. Symptoms. Let us always treat the root cause and not the symptoms. Otherwise, we keep on coming to this.
That's true. We need to. But as for the Lado Dam and Cameroon, I think the Cameroonians did what they needed to do, and that is by informing Nigeria ahead of the time. And they don't, for them, it's their country first and not.
And what do you expect?
And not any other thing. So
no, what should you? What should they do?
That's what I'm saying. They don't need to tell you that 2 years from now we will. You should know that we need to do what we need to do and not always blame other countries for our predicament. Let's move on to the Nation newspaper. Tinubu signed peace accord, presidency counters Kuka. And the president, the president signed the peace accord in the rundown to his election. The presidency clarified last night. It was reacting to the comment by Bishop Matthew Kuka that the president did not sign the peace accord. Kuka, the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, speaking on Saturday, running during the election, Edo election town hall meeting in Benin, said that prior to the 2023 presidential election, President Bayo Onanuga said contrary to the claims in 2023.
Well, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka is highly cerebral and profoundly seminal. No doubt about that. I also know that Father Reverend Kuka is now advanced in age. No innuendos meant. For Father Reverend Kuka to say that the Father Kuka followed General was their life. I saw President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was a presidential candidate that time, took a seat in the front. President Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, had seated that time. President Buhari came with was visible to the blind. The deaf saw it, I want to believe, and perhaps now tangible to the paralytic, that the then Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was then the presidential candidate of All Progressives Congress, signed the peace accord. Why say that even the president did not sign is to say the least, a very reckless statement.
But Father Kuka some slack. Maybe he was just trying to be technical here in his analysis, because Mr. Salami, don't forget that there were two signings that time. There was this first one that was to commit the candidate to a free and credible election. That was done, I think it's he represented the president. The president was not there. The president was there on the second agreement, which was that candidate will accept the outcome of the election. So maybe the Catholic father is talking about the first accord. But whatever it is, I think the clarification has been made. We move on.
You see, let me quickly say this. The level of Father Kuka, there was the need for circumspection, and it should be discerning. Father Kuka, by all standard, is a well-respected voice in Nigeria. He should face what he has to do and stop misinforming the people. And I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. Good a thing that the office of the special advisor to the president on communications and strategy came out last night to put the record straight.
All right, Mr. Salami, when you say he should face what is asked today, you remind me of those days during the military era.
The lecturers.
When the lecturers, they said they were
paid.
They were not paid to teach the students what they were teaching, that they should concentrate on what they were paid to do.
I adopt that now.
All right, so let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. And, Mr. Salami, every day you see the NNPCL, you see Dangote Refinery. You see one statement from one, you see a counter to these materials. Some of them propaganda materials, some of them outright lies, some of them have big stories and so many other things. But let's read this. NNPCL, Dangote, fresh dispute emerges over supply for volume on petrol between the NNPCL and Dangote cannot supply. Already delivered 111 million liters of the product within the last 3 days. That's from Sunday to yesterday, adding that loading was still ongoing steadily. The NNPCL said over the weekend that Dangote could only deliver 16 million liters out of the 25 million liters it initially agreed with Dangote. A source at the NNPCL told Vanguard that the refinery is struggling to deliver the 16.8 million liters it promised. But with the latest delivery figure it disclosed, Dangote must have significantly surpassed its promised delivery as well as the national demand put at 40 million liters per liter. Mr. Salami.
The job of the journalist is to educate the people and break news down in such a way that they understand and can use the information. Nigerians are very, very happy with Dangote, and Nigerians are not happy at all with the NNPCL, Dangote Refinery. And I am saying this with all sense of responsibility, that if somebody cooks who did not cook at all, what should happen? If the NNPCL has been doing what Dangote did, we will be here. Up till today, the quantum of money spent on a turnaround maintenance has gone down the drain, and they still have the shameless. They are down to shameless, and I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. I am saying this with all sense of response. If we are treating our own like this, you think investors will bring their hard-earned money into this country? If you cannot say thank you to Dangote, please keep quiet. Nigerians are happy with Dangote. Even if it is 1 drop or 1 liter, he's been able to pump into if you are able to leave just 1 liter, I will still say thank you, Dangote. Lawrence, right from 1999, every successive government have been doing turnaround maintenance, and billions of dollars had gone down the drain. Yet they could not face that. It is about he was unable to deliver 25 this thing. It's 16 that he delivered. Is the pricing this? Yet you did not supply Dangote Refinery the crude. He said he imported this crude, and he paid in dollars. I urge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, in the interest of all Nigerians, wade into this and sanction those who should be sanctioned.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on to this story. This is according to former President Olusegun Obasanjo. He said yesterday that he revealed how the former military head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, almost denied Nigeria a $280 million telecommunication deal. Obasanjo is seeking to provide mobile lines for the citizenry, but Abubakar wanted to award the deal to his friends for $3 million. The former president, however, said he suggested that the contract be auctioned on the highest bidder. And the highest bidder, he suggested that the contract be auctioned and the highest bidder awarded the contract, leading to the $280 million sale. He spoke at the launch of a book titled The Catalyst: Nigeria ICT Evolution Through a Journalist Lens, authored by an immediate past editor of the Punch newspaper, Dayo Oketola in Lagos. Speaking at the event, Obasanjo said the story of telecommunications, particularly mobile telecommunications, is a very interesting one. Before mobile telecommunications, we spent a lot of money. We had all sorts of companies invited from America, France, and even Britain, but we did not get more than 500,000 lines. People had to queue at the telephone kiosk to call them, I think, to their friends for 3 million. Then we said what we would do was to auction it. The three that came first, I think, paid $280 million for the line. $280 million for something about to be given away for $3 million. That was the first thing we did. Not only that, we achieved competition. Mr. Salami, it's a long one.
Let me